Hello everyone and welcome to the Coralize quick tutorial. Basically the aim of this video is to show you quickly what we're gonna do in the experiment today and try to give you an overview of the main features of Coralize. So to start with, we're gonna open a new Unity project and we're gonna import the package that's been given to you. To do that, we go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and we're gonna select the package that's given to you, the Coralize experiment package. Press Import, and that should import all the assets. Okay, once ready, you'll notice that you'll have this folder structure. If you want a quick description of the folder structure, please refer to the manual. But basically, we're gonna go to Scenes, and here you'll notice that you have two example scenes that we're gonna use in our experiment. Go ahead and double click on the first one. We don't need to save the current scene because it's empty. And you'll notice here that you'll have an example scene. To create my reef object, we're gonna go to Game Object, Create Other, and we're gonna select either the manual one or the semi-automatic one, depends on what it tells you on the instruction. So let's go with the manual first. I'm gonna press Manual, and you'll notice that we're gonna have a new game object called Reef Generator. To add corals to my pool, the corals which are going to make up my reef system, we're going to press Add Manual, and we have three different algorithms that generate three different types of corals that we can use. Each of them, as you'll notice, have its own parameters which you can tweak, and when you're happy with these parameters, you press Generate to generate a structure. For a more detailed description of what these parameters do, please refer to the manual again. Once you generate a coral and you're happy with it, you can assign a material to it. You can actually assign more than one. This can be done by clicking the object and selecting the material. More than one material would mean that a material will be selected at random once this coral is placed on the reef. Please also notice that when you generate a coral, a game object is created as a child of the reef generator object, so you can observe it closer in 3D space. Okay, and you can also attach any scripts or any colliders or anything you wish to this game object. Okay, this will be like a template of our coral. So once I'm happy, I press done, and you'll notice that my coral goes into the coral pool. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the other two generators really quickly. That's the soft coral generator, and then there's the sponge generator. So I give it a material again. This is all similar to the other generators. So I've got three corals there in my reef system. So the next thing to do is to start placing them on my reef. So the first thing to specify is I'm gonna tell the tool which one's my seabed, and in my case it's this terrain over here. So I'm gonna drag my terrain onto the seabed parameter. Next so once I do that, I'll notice that when I pass the mouse over my terrain, there's a brush, and upon clicking it, it will start placing my corals over the terrain. Okay, if I want to delete the corals, I press shift, I hold shift and click, and that would delete the corals. Okay, so there are two modes that you can use. You can either use the drag mode, which is basically taking copies of these prefabs and putting it on the reef. Okay, these are all exact copies of each other. And there's the automatic mode. The automatic mode will basically generate the coral as you go. Okay, it will first put a cube as a placeholder, then it will start generating the coral as you go. Okay, to edit the coral I can simply click on it, and I'll have again this window where I can either edit the materials. I can give it new materials, for example. Okay, let's give it this material with the red tips. Okay, so now you'll notice, so if I press done, I'll notice that my coral has now a red material. Okay, this bar here will control the distribution of my brush. Okay, so as you noticed, I dragged these two to 0, so this will take preference in my brush. If I do it 50%, it will have less probability to appear. Okay, and I can also give some random placement structure. For example, I can give a random rotation of the y-axis and the random scale to this coral over here. Okay, you'll notice that some of them have a smaller scale and it's got a random rotation. You can also readjust the parameters from here. Okay. The automatic brush has some extra cool features. The first one is the grow reef. So basically, let me hide the sea for a minute. So basically, I can place some of my corals on the seabed, and upon pressing grow reef, first I have to tell the tool which is my seaplane, and I simply drag, same as with the terrain, simply drag the seaplane in the water plane parameter. Next, if I press grow reef, it will start growing my reef, taking into consideration the sea level and the depth. Okay, another cool feature is the water currents. I can specify some currents in my reef system that would affect the thickness of the coral in real life. If a coral is exposed to water currents, it's usually a bit thicker than other corals of the same type that are sheltered. To add the water current, we first create it by pressing game object, create other water current. That's gonna create a game object looking like an arrow here, and I simply place it wherever I want in the reef. For example, I've got a current here pointing that way. Okay, now I need to add the current to my reef system. So I go to water currents, I say that I've got one current, and similarly I drag it on the reef system there. Now if I press grow reef, some corals are gonna be affected by that current. You'll notice that these ones here are a bit thicker. Okay, so that was the first exercise. The second exercise is very similar, so let's open the second scene. Okay, again you'll have the same scene, but this time we're gonna add a semi-automatic reef. Okay, the difference between this reef and the previous one is that the coral generation is based up on a suggestion system. So if I press add semi-automatic and press generate suggestions, some suggestions are gonna be generated. I simply tick the ones that I like and I regenerate. Okay, once I'm happy, for example, I like this one. Once I'm happy, I just selected. You'll notice the yellow border around the coral, and the rest is the same like we did on the manual coral. Okay, I can add materials. I can give random rotation, and that would just place another coral in my pool. The rest is all the same.